Ohio State adds needed depth at quarterback with portal pickup Eli Brickhandler.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And during this Buckeye Blitz, we'll discuss if the Buckeyes are done shopping in the portal. But first, we have been pounding the table on this show about Ohio State's need to get a quarterback in the portal. We were doing it in the winter, during spring ball, and even after spring ball concluded. And it comes at the end of May where Ohio State goes out there and finds a guy to boost up the depth in the quarterback room. His name is Eli Brickhandler. You may not have heard about him, and that's okay. He's played quite a bit of ball at a couple of schools in college football, and he's coming in to add depth, the necessary depth this room needs. Because if you look at the room right now, you have a true freshman. You have a couple other guys that are really inexperienced that are trying to win the QB1 title. No one there has the necessary experience that you want for a quarterback at Ohio State, even if he's just a depth piece. Eli Brickhandler is coming in to do just that. And if I am Ryan Day, it's an interesting call to try to get a guy in the portal right now. But you're getting a guy in Brickhandler who doesn't just have 1 year of eligibility, he has 2. So he's not just someone that's coming in for a few months and then leaving Ohio State. No, he's going to be there for a couple years. He's going to help the room have a guy in there that's played a little bit of ball. Because when you look at that room right now, those guys have played just a handful of snaps. They ain't even played a little bit of ball. They played less than that. And for Brickhandler, he has to know coming in, his role is not to try to be the starting quarterback. His role is to try to be that veteran presence, be that older voice, be a leader, be a culture builder inside the quarterback room. Don't come in and try to ruffle some feathers. Don't come in and think you're going to get in that quarterback battle. This ain't that, especially for this year. Maybe you get a whole lot better in Brickhandler and he goes and does some big things in the offseason. He competes in 2026. Which is highly unlikely. So just come in there, be a guy. Be a locker room guy. Be one of the boys, man. That's all we need. One more person to add to the brotherhood. That's all the Buckeyes need. But I'm happy Ryan Day's making this move. And I know people might wonder, like, what does this mean for Keen Holes and Sand? Does this mess up their path and maybe push them outside of Columbus, Ohio? Absolutely not. Oh, might I add, the portal isn't open. Him coming in right now does not – those other guys don't have an opportunity to go to the portal because the portal isn't opening up again until December. And even then, with the meetings that are going on right now in the offseason between the people in the sport that make all of the decisions, their portal might not be opening in December like it normally does. They may move that date and say, no, we're going to move it until after the end of the season, which I think would be very, very smart. Or we're going to change the date, whatever the case may be. It wouldn't shock me if that happened, but also these guys can't leave. But Ryan Day understands. Like, you look at Brickhandler's numbers. He did some good stuff last year at Houston Christian. He spent a couple years at North Carolina A&T when he started his collegiate career. Last year, he split time with Cutter Stewart with the Huskies. He went 38 for 77, passing for 557 yards and 4 touchdowns with 2 INTs last year at Houston Christian. He did some good stuff on the ground, though. He had 63 carries. This is Brickhandler we're talking about. 63 carries, 264 rushing yards, including 4 touchdowns, averaging 4.2 yards a pop. That's not bad. He did have a game where he had 138 yards on the ground. That's not bad. That's not bad for just a guy that's playing a little bit of ball at a lower level. I'm not going to knock him for that. You're a quarterback. You don't have all the talent. You don't have all the experience. You don't have all the tools. You're doing what you can with what you got. I'm not mad about it. I'm also not mad about Ryan Day making this move. I know at the time that he's making it, it may be controversial to some. I don't understand why. When you look at the context, this is not going to mess up the path of Sand or Keen Holes being able to win the quarterback battle, take it on the field. This doesn't even mess up Tavian St. Clair's path to get on the field and really just wait his turn. Brickhandler's not coming in to jump St. Clair. He's a fourth quarterback. He is on scholarship. Ryan Day is pushing the right buttons, making some calls. It might be interesting by some people, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to look back to this moment and say Ryan Day got it right. I mean, Patricia, I like the Patricia hire. We truly won't know if that was the right hire until we get into the season and we look back and say, oh, well, they performed very well, and that hire was the correct one. For this one, I think right now we'll look back in 6 months. If we look back, flash forward to December, and look back to this point in time, I think all of us will look at this moment and say, Ryan Day got it right. Ryan Day pushed the right buttons. Ryan Day got a guy that can be a leader in the room, that can be that veteran presence, that can play in true mop-up duty if need be. And there is a guy that has some experience. That's all he's looking for. Experience, a veteran presence, a leader, an older figure. You get that in Eli Brickhandler. While you got that with Eli Brickhandler, I'm wondering if Ryan Day is done shopping in the portal. We'll discuss that after the break. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off, and even with live player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Are you new to FanDuel? If you are, this is the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Yo, that's so good, I got to say it again. Are you new to FanDuel? If you are, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank y'all for tapping Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. Ryan Day, great pickup. Someone who's a little bit under the radar, someone who's played a little bit of ball, can be a dual threat, do some things with his arm and do some things with his legs that can fit the mold of the quarterback that you want. That can be that veteran presence, has a little bit of experience that can help the young guys as they get some more experience on the field. Great job, Ryan Day. And I'm also wondering, while Ryan Day's done a great job with the portal this offseason, is Ryan Day done shopping in the portal? And also, if he isn't, what positions should he target? Part of me wonders if Ryan Day is still looking for more depth at D tackle. Right now, that'd be the only position I would even pursue. Because if you're trying to get an old lineman, he's probably going to be in a similar situation as Brickhandler, that you're trying to get a guy to come in, be an older voice, be a veteran leader. But a lot of times he may have traits of a guy that can play right now, and he may not want to just ride the pine, sit on the bench all season and watch other guys play. And I wouldn't blame him if that was his mindset. So O-line, maybe. Running back, receiver, tight end, no. On defense, edge, no. You got plenty of edge players. Even if you think about Hicks and potentially Arvell Reese playing on the edge too, you got plenty of guys on the edge. Linebacker, no. Secondary, no. It's truly just in the trenches. It's highly unlikely the Buckeyes go out there and try to get an offensive lineman. But I think with D tackle, that'd be the only position I would pursue. And while I don't truly know if Ryan Day is done doing business in the portal, because this Brickhandler acquisition came and it was very quiet around the Buckeyes' activity in the portal, I think Ryan Day could fly under the radar once again and add a D tackle for depth purposes only, and not a guy that's trying to come in and play right away. Because I think still, if you look at the Buckeyes' defensive tackle rotation, after you get to McDonald and Houston, you got Jason Moore, Will Smith Jr., Tywone Malone. I think those guys are good depth pieces. They just don't have the experience. If you can bring a guy in that has a little bit of experience to be a depth piece there that has multiple years of eligibility remaining, that's what you're looking for. But for Ryan Day, you have to figure out, is it the right time to do that? Because you're about to get into official visit season, and do you want to deal with the portal and recruiting camps and official visits all at the same time? Maybe Ryan Day does. Maybe he doesn't. I'll venture on that he doesn't. But if it's a guy that can help Ohio State now and help them be a better defense in the fall, you got to move forward with it. You absolutely have to. So, no, I don't truly think Ryan Day has done shopping in the portal. I do think that there would be only one position he should target, and that be D tackle. I was a person that was at one time thinking, hey, at running back, get another veteran running back. I don't think that's even needed based off the high praise that coaches have thrown towards Bo Jackson. I think you could just ride with Bo Jackson as RB3 and make that thing ride. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the other running backs besides Donaldson's ability to protect the quarterback. I think that's one that, no matter if it's Peoples or Jackson or anybody else, any normal analyst would say, if you haven't played a lot of ball, you probably aren't a good pass protecting running back. I'm not here to knock the abilities of these guys. It's just the reality that it's hard to do. I mean, look at Travion Henderson. His best year in pass pro was year 4. And it wasn't because Quinshon Judkins was his running mate. It was because it took him that long to figure the thing out. That's just football, baby. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. And so moving forward, if the Buckeyes are done to the portal, okay, I think you can ride with the guys that you got on the roster and be successful in the fall. But if Ryan Day says there's a guy out there that can help us win now and add the necessary depth we need at this position, go ahead and get that guy. That's how I view it. I like Ryan Day's approach to the portal. I like that a lot of the guys he's picked up have multiple years of eligibility left. So you're not getting a guy that's a one-year rental like a Will Howard. You knew that. You capitalized. You won the Natty. Great. But you want guys that you can have around for multiple years, like an Eli Brickhandler, and like a lot of the guys, Bo Atkinson and others, that Ryan Day and Ohio State have picked up in the portal in 2025. Thank y'all for tapping Locked On Buckeyes and making this your first listen of the day. Yeah, bonus pod, the first listen of the day. You got another show coming up with my guy, Brian Smith. It's a Locked On crossover with Locked On Buckeyes and Locked On the Portal, as Brian Smith is a guy to keep you up to date with NIL, with the transfer portal, with the stuff going on in recruiting and the ever-changing landscape in college football. You get a little bit of Brian's insight on the Buckeyes, on the recruiting trail, on a crossover with the portal. You can follow the portal and Locked On Buckeyes on the YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked On Buckeyes right here on a hump day. We'll see you next time.